Right guys, it's going to be a 1080 Master Nightfall solo on a hunter without using any Pinnacle weapons. For those that just want to see this, then skip to time the screen. For the rest of you, I can quickly show you what the modifiers was and briefly what I had on. So the modifiers for this Master Nightfall is Air Superiority, flying units do increased damage, Champions Overload and Barrier, so there's no unstoppables, Equipment Locked, Match Game, Chaff, Champions Mob, and route algorithm. The main important sort of modifiers, obviously you're going to want to spec out for these two champions, but route algorithm is nasty in this. If you jump, especially with this modifier here, if you jump just once and you get caught by the boss or minotaurs, stuff like that, you're just going to get wrecked. No matter what you light, it doesn't matter. Okay, so just don't jump unless you're super confident you're not going to get hit. This can be done on all three classes. This is an easy Nightfall this week. Last time we done Master Garden World, there was Togetherness on, which it was significantly harder then. This run, it isn't too hard. Yeah, you have no radar, but you want to be learning the ad spawns, so you don't need a radar anyways. We're using Nightstalker bottom tree with Vortex Grenade and Gambler's Dodge to get our melee ability back. We paired that with 6 Coyote, so we get double dodge, so for every time we dodge we're getting our smoke back. It's just a way to play. Alternatively, you could use Graviton Forfeit. I don't have it on me, but that's another good way of playing. As for our weapons, we're using False Promises, Telesto and Fallen Guillotine. I'll talk more about these weapons while I'm doing it, as I will with the perks, but I'll just literally read out what I've got on. So on my helmet I have Concussive Dampener, Double Fusion Rifle Ammo Finder as this stacks. We've got Enhanced Auto Rifle Loader and High Energy Fire. We've on our chest plate a counter charge with the High Energy Fire with Overload Grenades for the minotaurs. On our boots we have Special Ammo Scavenger and Enhanced Sword Scavenger with a Shield Break charge as well. We have Enhanced Bomber on with Oppressive Darkness with a high mobility stat. That's effectively what I've got on. I'll talk more about all this while I'm actually doing it. On with the run. Okay, so as you saw from the loadout, this isn't a 100% super duper serious run. It's more of a run for me, as I do help out a lot of people with my videos and stuff like that. And I know there's other people that do as well, but at the same time I can get a little bored running the most effective weapons. So I'm running a loadout that's a little different for the weapon side of things. The subclass itself is meta, you know, bottom tree Nightstalker is, Oppressive Darkness and all that. But this video is also going to show you tips of how to effectively skip half of the strike while getting platinum, killing what you need to kill, getting your 100k, getting all the rewards that you want, and be done with it. This isn't a Nightfall for pretty much anything else. Obviously we're on Nightstalker bottom tree, so we can skip the Infinite Forest. So there's nothing much to this, there's no champions to kill until after this. So I'll talk more about what I was doing last week, where I started off a new series for Destiny 1. So that basically just to start freshening things up, doing things with that for D2 players that watch myself or other content creators and have not seen everything with D1, because I know a lot of people who play D2 and are highly invested in the game, veterans for D2 but never played D1. That's not their fault that they did, you know, it could be life. They might be busy with something else, but that doesn't mean we can't play D1 from now until November, which I'm just currently waiting on the Lost to Light Black Spindle mission. It might have come up. I haven't been keeping track for the last 1 or 2 days, but that's something I want to solo. A couple of things I want to do with D1. If it's something that you definitely want to see, let me know, as the engagement was being alright with D1, but not as much engagement as I will get for D2. So I'm still sort of figuring out whether I want to still do the Destiny 1 stuff, but let me know if you do want to see that. I can do Nightfall solos, maybe raid stuff, solo stuff like that. But just thought I'd mention it, let me know otherwise, but on with the rest of the run. So now we're past the Infinite Forest. We've just been skipping with our smoke dodge. Whenever you do a smoke, make sure that you're in the vicinity of an ad to do that dodge. As if you're smoking and you're nowhere near any ads and you're at a part where you need to skip, especially the fact that it's hard to actually skip stuff if you're not in vis. It's easier just to kill it, just because of well, kill the enemies, just because of the modifiers, especially if you trying to jump past them and stuff. But with the first box there, we can take that. We don't need to take out any harpies. Our loadout is all void. I'm well aware of it. It's not the most effective loadout, but swords can bypass shields. All archetypes can do that. So it doesn't matter. There is arc shields, but if we use certain debuffs or supers, we can get around that and use our weapons, our void weapons to deal with it. So my Vortex Grenade slightly just went through the legs of that anti-barrier. These are our first two anti-barriers to kill. If you come next towards this tree, you can kill both anti-barriers without getting shot. You need to make sure that the position right, because sometimes they still can shoot you, so you've got to wait it out and don't start doing DPS until then. Now we have a couple of mods going on here at once, so we've got high energy fire, so every time we break an champion shield we get high energy fire, so that's really good. Plus Telesto does decent damage. I mean, these are master Nightfall champions, this is end game content, Telesto's doing half decent damage to these. I do get it that I've got high energy fire on, but it's just a alternative loadout. We haven't got much Telesto ammo left, so I'm just sort of reserving to see if I get some bricks off these champions. We're going to have some arc harpies up ahead. They're awkward to deal with, like I say, if there's other ads next to the harpies, which that's a thing that is going to be coming up. So yeah, it's not ideal. Generally, the last time I done this Master Nightfall, I went Yura's Gift with a Horde and then Fallen Guillotine. That loadout is way more effective than what I'm using right now, but like I say, I'm just using this loadout just to change things up while things are dry this summer. So we're going to skip all ads, take the box down, do an Oppressive Darkness nade, and then just take the Minotaur with Telesto. We'll then go invis, just to be safe. We could have shot the box straight off the bat, however that can be risky, and I don't want to show too much risk in this run. We got our smoke back. Now this is not me skipping all these champions. It may look like that I'm skipping them now, but I'm doing the champions in reverse order as it's easier to get angles on all the anti-barriers and the overload minotaurs. We're going to skip all these ads. We are going to kill these ads though. We're going to come back to this room. So we're going to take down the box first, do a smoke, then a dodge for our smoke back, and then we're going to come back to this area here. Utilising corners and peeking with swords is very effective with the minotaurs. Never throw your nade until you're certain that that minotaur is pushed round, because sometimes it'll appear that they're going to push round and they don't. It's not end of the world though, because I've got enhanced bomber on, which you need a solar cape for that, so we can farm our nade back even if we miss. So that's the beauty of this build. We've got a bunch of fanatics that are going to push us. Their AI will do that, whereas the rest of the ads won't push us so much. They'll just sit round that corner. We're waiting for the next overload minotaur to pop in. We've got a second nade for that. We'll do the same thing as we did before. To save on ammo, we use the R1 swing. We only use the heavy attack on the minotaurs if it's urgent to take down that champion. If it's like urgent that if we don't, we're going to die to other adds hitting us. That's the only time you see me do that. As there's no hive, there's no taken, there's no way to get our heavy back unless we're going to use heavy finisher, but that would mean no oppressive darkness, which is no good. Rather have the oppressive darkness. But enhanced sword scavenger covers it. As we are going to get bricks, and you get a lot more ammo when you do that. So now we'll just make sure that we got our nade back. We're going to bait the first anti-barrier champion. This angle's great to take him. There'll be another 2 anti-barriers out of that portal, but they won't spawn up until the harpies I took down. And we're saving on ammo. We're now going to farm our nade back. Farming your nade back saves on ammo as well. The fact that we can debuff the enemy with Oppressive Darkness. So you'll see me do that a lot in this. Now we've got our debuff, we can start using Telesto, which it melts the shields, the fact that they're match game. I think by looking at it there, it looks like the detonators don't apply to the rules of match game. But that just looks, this is my first time watching it, but I think that's what's happening. The impact damage isn't. That applies to match game, but I think the detonators aren't. Or it could just be the fact that Oppressive Darkness is debuffing them and they're going down super quick. So with these 2 anti-barrier champions, they're safe-ish to take down. The problem is the harpy. And it depends on where the arc harpy is positioned. That's why we were sort of waiting for our prime time to take down. Our goal here is to take down at least 1 champion, and that'll make it a lot easier if we do. Now what will happen is the arc harpy will push, not always, but the arc harpy pushed up the stairs far enough that it would disrupt me while I'm taking the second champion out, which was unfortunate. So your best move here would be to go invis, maybe stun the champion so that the champion's not going to fire at you, and then you can sword the arc harpy, which is what I end up doing in the end, I believe. As you can see, if I hadn't, playing it safe instead, take down the arc harpy, and then we can go for the champion now. Like I say, the best play is rather than wasting ammo. I mean, I've got plenty of ammo on the floor, but rather than waste ammo, take the arc harpy first. It is awkward on this loadout. Like I say, this is not this isn't the most effective loadout. You can do it with pretty much anything on this Nightfall. So that's the last anti-barrier on the stair section, but there's the 2 initial anti-barriers. We'll take out the arc harpies first. If we don't, they will sort of attack us while we're trying to get our damage in. We don't want. We'll get our nade back for this champion here. This champion's not a problem because of the damage. So they're just doing the usual solar laser attack, whatever it is. Just shooting at you a little bit. It's the boomer ones that are dangerous. The ones with the like minotaur guns that do the void damage because of the modifier on, and they're just more threatening. This one isn't too bad. It's the ones later on. Our shield break here. This auto rifle as well, the reason why we're using this kinetic auto rifle is because it has insane range. It's a really good roll. It's got overflow rampage on it. It's mainly more for the range. I mean, I can deal with anti-barrier shields from quite a distance. Its range is near max, which you can farm this weapon via the umbrella engrams, which I highly recommend for this season if you're still doing Grandmasters, Master Nightfalls, because there's still a long time left in this season. Okay, so now we're going to have this section. There's a lot of overload minotaurs. I did not have my nade up, was a mistake, but it was fine because the minotaur pushed into a safe zone, but the second minotaur pushed us, which did get overloaded because the Vortex Grenade lockdown nade lasts for a long time. But we weren't going to get baited out by that, as the time window would have been off. So we're resetting. One thing I failed to do here is dodge to get my smoke back, which resulted in a slower play overall. So that's a mistake I made. But the big thing with that is I got both Overlord Minotaurs safe, down safely, without the yellow bar attacking us, which was the biggest thing. So at this point, what we'll need to do, I mean, if I go out there and start trying to jump over that, even though it's just one Minotaur, because of the modifier, I'll just get wiped out. So it's not worth trying to get past without invis. So of course the Minotaur is immune until we take the box, so we've got to get round him to get the box before we can do damage. There's going to be some anti-barrier champions to deal with, but in this area they're super easy to deal with. If I was to deal with them differently, from a different angle, it would be totally different. A lot harder. But from the angle I take them, they can't hit you and you can hit them. And that's the main thing, the tips that you can take away from this. We'll do our invis now, dodge past the Minotaur, and then we can take the crate. As soon as you take the crate though, you need to go invis immediately. If you do not, all the champions will take you out. So we'll do an Oppressive Darkness nade first, and we'll just break the shield of whichever one's easiest to do, as they get stuck on top of each other, those champions. We'll break the next shield. Like I say, it's a good place to stand, but if you are weakish, the biggest thing, like I said at the start of the video, is not to jump, even though it's tempting to try and avoid their attacks, because it's a natural thing to do in Destiny is to jump. But modifiers like grounded all the time, it seems that all the Nightfalls have grounded on. Why? It's not making this endgame content more difficult, it's making it more annoying. In Destiny, it's a natural movement to want to jump and avoid attack, right? But this modifier is saying, oh no, you can't play strike attack, and you've got to boots on the floor, and that's it. You just allow it strafe. It's silly to me, the fact they've always got grounded on. You know, at least paired it with something. I think they need to start doing more positive modifiers with the negative modifiers. It shouldn't just be all about negative. But we stun both Minotaurs as they're positioned there, so the nade will stun them both, so it'll take shared damage. You save on sword ammo that way, so if you didn't have as much sword ammo as me and you're not getting the bricks, then at least you've saved. Sword ammo is not that important, just as long as you're only using it when it's needed. Don't be using it on general adds, unless it's the harpies, of course. I mean, I could have put an arc sword on, but it doesn't matter. Fallen Guillotine's DPS outweighs the use of using an arc sword. I mean, yeah, we're going to get shield break damage, but it doesn't matter. They're going to go down anyways, with the fact that the sword will bypass the shield. Always remember with this Nightfall, you can always backtrack. There's so many areas where you can just go back and get ammo. So if you are weak on special ammo, you can always go back. You can go back real far as well. But once you spawn at the boss room, obviously you can't backtrack at that point.
I was hoping the root mine would take
But for example, where I'm going to now, if we get to the phase where there's the wanted arc harpy and the hydra and all that, we can actually come right back here with ammo. And ammo is important actually for this, for the strat that I'll be doing at the boss fight. So whatever loadout you use, and just make sure you have whatever you DPS in the boss with, make sure you have full ammo of that when you get there. But right now we're gonna take out the goblins that push us. They'll be 2 anti-barrier champions and a overload minotaur. They will not push if you stand around here. If you start to go up that hill, sometimes the overload minotaur will push you, but we're not going to take that route. Again, I'm not skipping the encounter here. This is just me leveraging an angle to show you easy ways to take out these champions. It's important that you don't go up the lift though, as you will encounter fanatics and stuff like that. Try not to. If you to do your jump differently, sort of more to the left, you'll get pushed by that the elevator. We'll go invis first, get the stun. We knew there was a goblin up, so we wanted to take him out quickly. Now there'll be 2 anti-barriers behind that wall, so we can dodge to get our invis back. So our dodge is working there because they're close. They won't loop around as well. Really good. But we're going to come up above them, and we'll start off with an Oppressive Darkness nade, and then we'll spam, well, just one shot. It's important that we don't spam it actually, we just do the one shot and then get ready for the shield break. And our goal is to take down one of the, at least one of the goblins pretty quick, so then as soon as that's happened, taking one of them out's easy. Sometimes if you try to take both of them out, one of them will get an angle on you. If they get you one shot, just reset and go behind the wall. Depending on what sort of ammo bricks you have on the floor, I mean, if you have a load of sword ammo, use your sword. Get your stun with your auto, and then start using sword on them. But I had a lot of special ammo, so I was using that. We have a brick here as well, which I ended up leaving. Just in case I wanted it for if I was wanting to come back. But I don't even think I do. But in that instance, if you don't get any ammo where I was, like in this section here, then you could go back for heavy down there. Now we've dealt with the fanatics. We have 3 anti-barrier champions, all on ledges, and then 2 overload minotaurs in this area. We'll start with a Oppressive Darkness nade. That just helps to take down the shield quickly so that we can get back to cover, but this is a good angle to take the anti-barrier without the anti-barrier hitting you. Now we'll take out the regular snipers. They'll be just red bars. With this section, once you push past the stairs, you'll have harpies spawning. These can be awkward depending on where they spawn in. Well, they were for me because I'm using triple void and I haven't got any arc stuff on. But if you were to use this loadout, take it slow. Wait for your nade. You know, you can farm your nade up. Just be aware that once you push past the harpies, even though they're still alive, all the other stuff spawns in. So the overload minotaurs, the red bar minotaurs, all that stuff. But obviously we have a super to use, so we can spam that. And it's just, I was trying to group up the harpies as much as possible, but some of them didn't group up. Obviously we can sort them as well, but like I said, once we start doing all that stuff, all the ads spawn up. Which I could have sorted them there, to be honest. There's 2 or 3 seconds that you have, but the thing is, there's also a boomer champion that would have done a lot of damage for me, so it was risky on the perch. Like I said, with the modifier, they do a lot of damage. So now we've got our overload minotaurs spawning in. We're waiting for that. Obviously we're going to kill them from in cover. And we're going to go back into cover, of course. As this is quite dangerous just because of all the arc harpies and the beam enemy. Right now I want to take out all the goblins first. Farm some grenade energy, as we're going to use an Oppressive Darkness nade on their arc shields to counter that. Now they end up grouping up. That's good. That's the only annoying thing about this run, just those arc harpies. But like I said, if you're using something like Euro's Gift and Wither Horde and then Fallen Guillotine, they're not an issue at all because you can just break their shields from safety. So now we're going to bait a Minotaur, which he always comes as long as you come behind that particular spot right there. Then we're going to have a bunch of goblins that we want to take out those before we deal with that champion to my left. As once you start approaching the champion on the left and you DPS in that champion, if there's goblins in cover, they will immediately start to attack you because that's just part of their AI to do that. That's why we're trying to take them out. If you're unsure whether they're killed or not, best just to go in Viz and scope out if they are. Obviously we've got another Minotaur, so I'm trying to bait him as well. We don't want to be dealing with an anti-barrier and an overload at the same time, so we want to do what we can control, which is baiting out the overload. We can't bait the champion, the anti-barrier, but we can bait the overload. So we'll bait the overload. But like I said, that's in our control to do that. And then we can see if there's any goblins alive, which I believe there was. They're just annoying because they'll strafe in and out of that bubble. That's not a good place to stand. Definitely don't. I'm just using it to scope out what's up. There's also 2 Minotaurs in that bubble, 1 yellow bar, 1 red bar. But they won't push up. They won't push out of that bubble for whatever reason. Well, the shielded one won't, of course, but the red bar one won't. This is a good angle to take out the champion from here, as they can't hit us. This champion can sometimes be to my right on a perch. You would take them out the same way. There is RNG where they spawn, like I said, but you would just take them out close to them so that the angle, they can't get an angle on you. It is risky doing this when you try to take out the box, but the only thing is just to make sure you go in Viz first and just take out the box as quickly as you can. I wouldn't advise using Telesto because it's slow charge rate. You want to take it out with your rifle, and do not jump when you are retreating. Obviously you've got to retreat from that. But it is tempting to jump away, but don't just run. Like I say, that modifier grounded and void burn on, and it just turns a fun Nightfall into annoying. At least togetherness isn't on though, so that's a plus. So we've got a tether to burn. We'll use that. It's fine. And we still had tether energy, so I tethered the final Minotaur. But if you don't do that, you can push up to cover, and the Minotaur will push you because the bubble's down. The AI of the Minotaur's changed, and he'll actually enrage like what a Overlord Minotaur would. This is the next angle to take out this the last anti-barrier in the whole ordeal. We will just farm a nade energy. As we're going to need nade energy. I wouldn't advise using a nade on this champion. You don't need to. If you're going to do that, you're going to need to farm a nade energy above me. And above me is an awkward section. And you're timed as well. So I'll explain when we get to it. So you're best off just don't use a nade. Just take them down. Without. And then it's ammo. Now I should have went down for the heavy ammo brick that was below this platform, but sword armor's not essential. If you're using a different heavy where you're DPSing with it, then you would have done. But the only purpose of the sword is to deal with the buggiest thing of the Nightfall, which is the Overlord Minotaurs. Now we'll take down the box. It's important that you only take the box when you're ready to go up. Once you take the box, the ads spawn in, and if you don't jump up, they will take you out as you're jumping up. So that's critical to do that. Even though it's simple, it's very critical. So now we're trying to bait out some of the Minotaurs. The awkward part of this is that you're timed because the wanted target will eventually make their way over to you. If that happens, you need to go to cover. There's a block above me and crouch on, which I done in my previous run, like 6 weeks ago. Same strat, and you can hide from the wanted. But both overloads push me, which was ideal. Won't always happen. If both overloads don't push you, then obviously you can't get them in one nade. You'd farm your second nade and bait out the second minotaur to you at these stairs. Just a safe place. There's a hydrant and stuff like that, but we don't need score, as you can see. There was a heavy brick there, but it just wasn't worth getting, so we just went up. So there's 4 offline minotaurs. Now they activate at various stages throughout the boss fight, but you can use them to get your smoke back and dodge next to them. You can also farm nade energy, and we've got enhanced bomber on to help out with stuff like that. But this is just showing you how to easily do this boss fight. It's been out for ages, so I'm not the founder, nothing like that. This has been out since it came out, this trick. But basically we're standing in the Vex legs, meaning that the boss doesn't register that we're on, like we're there to be attacked, so we can just spam the boss. So we're spamming it with Telesto. Be sure that you're right under the minotaur as well, not just to the slight left or right. I mean, you can here and there, strafe in and out, but not too much. If you do, the ads start throwing nades at you and all that. As you can see, even though there's like a lot of range, Telesto's still done quite a lot of damage, and I missed my Oppressive Darkness nade on the first section. Like at the start, so even then he's still doing a lot of damage. Now we can still stand under the Minotaur's legs, and we're going to take out the ads. Now if you knock off a goblin's head, then you need to take out that goblin if you're here, because the goblin will then not care that you're in the Vex's legs, and they will melee you. So take one ad at a time. Also, we'll need to fill back up on our special ammo. We didn't have fusion rifle reserves on, but we're maxed at 21. This is with the catalyst as well, though. I don't know what it is without the catalyst, but ammo reserve. But there is no room to put on your build for fusion rifle reserves, because you've got overload grenades on, you've got counter charge, all that stuff. So there'll be a couple more ads spawned up. What's interesting about this is that the game reaches a limit for the amount of ads that can be spawned in this area. Usually arc harpies spawn up and additional goblins and all that stuff, but because we skipped all damage phases, the game reached a maximum amount of number of ads to spawn in, so we don't get all the arc harpies, we don't get all that stuff. We just get the max number, which happens to be just a load of goblins, a couple of snipers. So it makes it easier that way not to kill any ads at all, on top of what we're already doing. So it's important that you take out this Minotaur first. It just makes it easier for the offline Minotaur that we're going to go to. We're farming nade energy off this Minotaur as well. We're not going to use our sword on the Minotaur. You probably would one phase, but it'd just be too risky. So I'll nade and one shot Telesto with that gets the Minotaur weak. Then we'll farm our next nade while looking for ammo as well. We're not really bothered about sword. We obviously can't sword the boss, not on this. It's just Telesto ammo that we're bothered about. Okay, so now for the final phase, we don't need to do anything else. We'll take down the box and then immediately quickly come to this Minotaur here and then crouch and do not move. It just helps it out. If you start moving, messing around, the Minotaur is just going to come up, stomp you off the map. Now we can edge slightly out, trying to get the right angle for a Oppressive Darkness nade, which we get it this time, and then we can just finish the boss off. Like I say, this is just tips for people, just to quickly show you how to farm it solo, if you're farming in a team, obviously you don't need to do all this stuff, but it's the easy way to get your 100k, your platinum rewards. Don't need pinnacle weapons. You do it with pretty much anything within reason. Once the boss is dead, you can super the minotaur, whatever. Doesn't matter at that point. But that was the 1080 Master Nightfall solo on a hunter without any pinnacles. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
We just met the biggest Vex Cyclops I've ever seen, and we cracked it in half.
Oh, Dendron, right. You're so good at cleaning up Osiris's messes. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. Now get out of there before the simulation shuts down.